Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and she decided to join us today. I know I recently did a favorites video for the fall time, but today I wanted to do a luxury favorites video, and these aren't just any favorites. These are my all-time favorite items from my favorite luxury brand. Should we wait for her? I'm not sure what she wants to do. But the first brand I want to touch on is none other than Chanel. Chanel is definitely one of my favorite brands of all time. I have been a luxury consumer for some time now, and I feel like I have the most amount of Chanel items in my luxury collection. The very first item on my list is the classic flap. This one is in the small size, double flap with I think champagne gold hardware. I always forget the season, but this is either 22p or 23p, but it's a very hot pink, a true Barbie pink color. The Chanel classic flap I feel like is still a truly iconic piece, and while this isn't the most classic piece because of the color, I think this is a classic for me. Sometimes the more expensive a bag is, the more colorful I like to get. And especially when it comes to a very iconic piece like the Chanel classic flap, when you're going that traditional route of a black classic flap, I feel like that can be a little bit too serious, too conventional, too expected in a way. So sometimes a little bit boring, dare I say. So I think a classic item with a twist, so in this case the pop of color, is a little bit more lighthearted, it's less serious, it's more fun that way. This one is in caviar leather, so I don't really worry about getting stains, scratches, and all that stuff. And I feel like this bag does hold its shape. I mean, I've only had this bag for a couple of years, but I feel like it's still holding up its shape pretty nicely. But I do try not to overstuff it too much, especially because of the size. But honestly, this bag does hold quite a bit of stuff in here, all these compartments. My camera fits, my wallet, my phone, lip products, sunglasses. It's not the biggest bag, of course, but I think in terms of the capacity, it's really good enough for a lot of occasions. And despite the hot pink color, it really works with a lot of my outfits. And I feel like the reason why I still haven't gotten tired of this bag is because it is still a classic item, a classic flap. The next Chanel item is a pair of shoes. I love all my Chanel shoes, but I really had to go with this one because it is my most worn pair of shoes. This is an old colorway, complete black on black. Even the logo is black. The only white you can see is right here, the little CC logo, and then pretty much the bottom like this. Because these are old, I was really surprised that I was able to get these last year, and this is still a style that they do every single season. We've seen this in so many different black and white colorways, tweed fabric, and I don't know how it is for all the other variations, but at least for this one, the pair that I have, these are literally the most comfortable shoes I have ever put on my feet. These are literally as comfortable as my on tennis shoes, the ones you wear to the gym. When I first got these, I didn't love them as much. I just needed some kind of black on black sneakers, and this was the only pair that I always loved. But personally, I don't like that tennis shoe look. Unless you're going for that athleisure look, this isn't the type of shoe that looks good when you want to look a little bit more put together with certain outfits. But I have to say, I wore these a lot more in 2024 than I did in 2023. I wore these to a music festival, you guys, and my feet, I kid you not, did not hurt all night. When everyone was complaining about how painful their feet were, I was wait, I didn't think about this, but my feet actually don't hurt. And one of the days I wore Common Projects and my feet started hurting, so I knew these were that comfortable. This has a combination of nylon and suede, and at this point it's probably really filthy because I wore them to death. But because they're all black, I still feel like they look pretty good. You can't really tell how dirty they are. And I do want to add another one to my collection. I just haven't found the right one because I just love how subtle this is. The black on black. I know they have a black pair with a white CC logo. That to me is a little too much. It's too Chanel. It's really cute, but I don't want to scream Chanel and have all these logos all the time. So I'm still looking for the right pair. My last Chanel favorite has to be this piece of ready to wear. I call this the Chanel scuba top because of this neoprene scuba material. I'm still dipping my toes into the world of Chanel ready to wear, but I really feel like this was a good entryway. I've already worn this so many times and I still love this so much. This was the first item that I saw on the runway and like fell in love with. Like I mentioned so many times, this really is a Chanel piece without being too obnoxious. It has all the brand elements, the little CC logo, which I love, and these little crystals, black and white, but different texture to keep it more interesting, and all these little CCs, which I feel like you could have gone without, but then I guess that would have made it a little bit too plain, like too boring. As you can see, it also has a waistline. It's just something that you can have in your archive, you know, and bring it out like time and time again. And even if you were to wear this like 5 years from now, I still feel like you wouldn't look out of place. It's just a very timeless piece. Okay, moving on to Hermes. And yes, this is my very first item. Also, this tee is so good. It's from Fortnum & Mason. Will it focus? Yes, there you go. This tea is so good. If you like to put honey in your tea, you like that taste of honey, you're gonna love this. I feel like along with many of you out there, Chanel and Hermes are like the two big brands that I usually shop from. They're pretty much like neck and neck in terms of like the number of pieces I have from each brand. And you guys know one of my favorite things, like, I mean, this is an all-time favorites video, right? So I had to mention this breakfast cup and saucer set. You guys know this is my favorite out of all the tableware. I mean, their tableware itself is pretty much like my all-time favorite, but if I had to choose, I definitely have to go with this exact thing. So the breakfast cup is the bigger size. They do have the smaller one in a different design for the teacup, which is still really cute, but for practicality reasons, like this is the one that I always use, like literally every single day. This one is in the platinum mosaic. I also love this in the gold that I recently got. But you know, my love started with these in H Deco. The black one is like my first love. I love the burgundy one, the rouge, but I heard it got discontinued, so I'm scared to use it. This cup comes with this saucer, which you can also use as a plate to put some berries on it or just use it like this. It is a very big cup, as you can see, and it's just the perfect size if you need a huge cup of coffee every morning like I do. And it's really about the proportions, you know. It's wide, it's big, but it's not too deep. It's kind of shallow, but not too shallow, and a tiny little delicate handle. It honestly makes my morning coffee taste like 20 times better. The next item from Hermes that is like my all-time favorite has to be the Oran sandals. I feel like at this point, are they a little bit too overdone? Yes, I definitely agree, but hear me out. I still think they are more streamlined. They're a bit more feminine than all those like chunkier ones that they've come out with over the years. There's also so many different variations. I feel like the Oran sandals with the heel, with the little strap, but I still love the classic Oran sandals and I wear them all the time. But I have to say the very popular, the white, black, gold, they're not my favorite. It's like the same thing with like the pink classic flap. I love classic items, but there has to be something more interesting, you know? Sometimes I like to wear very classic pieces, but other times I just don't want to wear something that everyone else has, you know? That's why I had to mention this one. This is my ultimate favorite Oran sandals. I always forget the name of the color, but you can see it's a very nice green with like a bit of like gray. It's like a nice khaki olive. This pair is in alligator skin, and also the bottom is this like blue suede. It's just beautiful. Last item I want to mention for Hermes is actually their silk pieces. I feel like their silk items are one of the best things that the brand has to offer. My personal favorite in terms of the size is the 90 by 90. I really feel like that one is the most versatile. You can wear it as a top. I'm pretty sure I showed this to you guys like a couple months ago, but I did get the Faubourg flagship as an actual ship. I love that one, but my all-time favorite one goes to the automobile one. I wore this as a top in Positano last year, and after that trip, I actually got it framed. It has a lot of sentimental value for me. I always think of that time when I see it, and it's just beautiful. The colorway, the rich burgundy with all these like amazing cars. So this is another category that I always keep in mind. I'm always looking for an amazing like new print, new colorway, maybe like an old design that they bring back. And I also really love their twillies. It's just that I don't like the look of of a twilly on a bag. Maybe I'm not there yet, or maybe it's just not my style, but it's a little too like prim and proper. It's a little too Hermes. Depending on the color, I think it can look so beautiful, but I just personally don't like to do that. That's why I refrain myself from buying too many twillies. And I know you don't have to use the twillies on just the handles. You can do like so many different things with it. Maybe like tie up your hair or even like as a bracelet. I love all of those looks. It's just not super practical for me. And like tying it around your neck, like I like that look on other people, but just not on myself. Maybe in like 2 years, I don't know. But there are so many twillies that I have on my wish list that I just don't pick up because I know it's just gonna sit there. But even like talking about it now, I have like 3 or 4 twillies that I've been eyeing on this entire year. So maybe next time. But yeah, there's still category in general. It's just so many hidden gems there. Next we have Fendi, and I'm pretty sure you guys already know what I'm going to talk about. Yes, it is the peekaboo bags in the mini in Python. I know I just talked about these bags, or at least like this one, on my channel, so I'll keep this short, but you guys know these are definitely one of my all-time favorite bags. And you know my personal favorite is the mini size, the puffy one, and the Python leather. But I think regardless of the color or the skin that you go for, I think peekaboos are in general a very good bag. It's high quality, it has 2 compartments, and it can fit a lot. It also comes with a matching strap, so you can do a top handle or a crossbody for a bit more of that casual look. And even though it has a bit of that soft slouchy look on the side, it actually has a pretty firm bottom, so it does have a bit of structure. And this is the bag that helped me transition from crossbody bags to a top handle, and ever since then, like, haven't gone back. And even though I've only been carrying this bag as a top handle like this, I never feel like it's too prim and proper like a lot of top handle handbags can be, which I think suits my style a lot better. I think it gives me that perfect balance of put together and presentable, but not too serious. And now you can see them side by side. I mean, they are a different color, but you can see this one is a bit shinier, right, than this. That's what I was telling you guys about. This has more of that matte finish, whereas this is like the shiny coat. So this is what the front looks like, or like one side of it looks like, and then the back is a little bit different. And it's a bit more noticeable with this bag, in my opinion. Yeah, it's like, yeah, the pattern's different. And even if you were to get the same bag in this color, the scales, the pattern, it's going to look different. That's what makes all of these pieces very unique. So of course they had to be included in this list. The next item I wanted to talk about is the LV agenda. Sometimes I feel like this agenda is literally who I am. My personality really shows. I not only use this as an agenda slash like planner, but it's also kind of like my memory book, like a time capsule. I've done a video on this in the past if you guys want to see like what I have inside, but let me show you the front at least. There's a lot going on, right? Whatever makes me happy, I just like put in here. Some like postcards from like art exhibits that I really liked. Some stickers like this bunny one that I got from Korea last year, you know, like business cards, and then a ton of these Rimowa pouches. Celine, oh yeah, I have a bunch of receipts in here, and then this pouch to hold all my stickers, and then 2024 monthly calendar, 2023, so I can see like where I've been, like traveled to, some like big things that happened in my life over the years. I got this back in 2022 when I went to Paris. So that was August for my birthday. So I have this planner start in August. A lot of stuff is like very personal, so I can't like show you everything, but this is the Palm Court, I believe, at the Ritz, London, like all these like posters, you know? Oh yeah, Hello Kitty paper clip. Even though I don't like Hello Kitty. And honestly, when I see this, I always think of like, you know, like back in the day, when was this? At least 10 years ago, I wanna say. At this point, yeah, like almost like 10 years ago, when this was really big. This is when like LV Neverfull was like so big. So many people had this agenda, and they also had this in like every single size, like PM, MM, GM, and they would do like comparison videos, and they would have this in the monogram or the Ebene, and they would carry this around in their Neverfull. Is the inside of your Neverfull like pink or red? I was team red. I mean, I still have my Neverfull. You know, I just think of that time. It really brings back so many memories. It's like a thick book at this point. The next brand I want to touch on is Goyard, and I had to pick my vanity case. And I'm still so happy I went with this one instead of some other brands that were really popular and are still popular. And I bought this mainly to carry as a bag. But I knew that if I kind of got tired of it, then I can always use this as a vanity. And I have used it for that purpose, which is why I have the insert. As you guys know, I've used this as my travel bag so many times. This one helps to organize everything, and then without it, I can just like fit so much. But this bag can get very, very heavy, especially because of this chain strap that I like to put on, because without the strap I felt like the bag was getting a little too heavy for this little leather strap. You can purchase a canvas strap and also leather, I believe, from Goyard, but when I tried it on, it just looked a little too boxy. It was like my body and then like a huge like lunch box next to me. Oh yeah, that's what like everyone in my life calls this bag. Every time I show up in this bag, they're like, oh, she's carrying her lunch bag again. But yeah, similar to the LV monogram, I feel like this Goyard print has become almost like a classic at this point. So no matter what color you go with, I feel like it's a pretty neutral, and gray is kind of like a neutral. So I love this bag, and I also love carrying this bag out when I have to like vlog in public, because I can just put my camera on top of this bag and it's like the perfect tripod. The very last item is this Dior scarf. Have you guys noticed I like never talk about Dior unless it's about like their beauty products, because I actually don't have anything from Dior other than this scarf. So I got this scarf as a gift to my boyfriend one year and he didn't like it. So technically it's mine. Even though I love the oblique pattern, I felt like it was just a little too much. At the time, it was literally everywhere, on everyone's shoes, on everyone's clothes and bags, and it was just a little too much, especially whether it's the blue or the burgundy, like we've seen it all. But then I saw this scarf. I felt like it was very, very subtle. So you guys know what my taste is like, right? It's kind of like this. I like a little bit of logo, but I want it to be a bit more subtle, you know, a little subdued. And this, I felt like, was just perfect. It's a dark charcoal and an even darker oblique pattern. So it wasn't so in your face Dior. It was just like a nice subtle pop, if that makes sense. So I love covering my face with this when I'm wearing like all black. I wore this in Japan last year with like a bit of gray, and it's also a huge scarf. Forget what the dimensions are, but it's actually really, really big. And also the back is completely black. So depending on how you wear it, you can show a little bit of like oblique pattern like here and there, which I thought was a really nice like subtle touch. I'm pretty sure they're still doing this scarf, but not in this exact colorway. But again, because it's not so loud, but it's still a classic item, I think this is a timeless piece that's going to stand the test of time. And also the quality is really good, so I was really happy about that. So that was it, you guys. Those were all my all-time favorite luxury items that I want to share with you guys today. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for tuning in, and